Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paramahansa Sri Sri Srimad Bhavai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Dali Vishnu Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paramahansa Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Dali Vishnu Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asvita Sata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj Ki Dali Vishnu Vishnupad Asvita Sata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj Ki Dali Vishnu Vishnupad Asvita Sata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Dali Vishnu Vishnupad Asvita Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Dali Vishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Paracharya Astadeva Sata Shri Srimad Param Gurudev Jagaguru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Sata Goswami Sachdat Ananda Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Vaishnava Sarva Om Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Gaudiyodanta Acharya Shilvari Vibhushan Prabhu Ki Shilasika Acharya Shila Vishwanath Thakur Ki Shila Narottam Srinivashananda Prabhutrai Ki Shila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Shilupa Shri Sanatana Bhattara Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Shri Sutnavara Raya Raminda Shri Gaura Parashad Vindaki Namacharya Shri Das Thakur Ki Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vindaki Shri Navadvip Maya Pradam Ki Ganga Devi Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Devi Ki Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Kinda Devi Ki Gopishwara Mahadev Ki Jagannath Baladevi Subhadra Devi Surasan Chakra Chetradam Toto Gopinath Ki Narasingha Bhagavan Ki Bhakta Pravar Prahlad Maharaj Ki Anant Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Samagata Bhakta Vinda Ki Shinitai Gar Pranande.
Can you bring me songbook? You know that Prabhupada's composition, Krishna Tava Punya Habiba, is in the songbook.
And in the unabridged, in the bigger one?
Oh, this is the smaller one.
No, that's the bigger one.
The bigger one.
Yes?
No, no. The bigger one doesn't have that elastic thing, right?
No.
Okay. So. Krishna Tava, here it is. 381. 381.
Are there any writings from Prabhupada at the time of his departure in India? Like right before, right the first day on the boat or anything?
We're going to look at that. I remember he's already putting it down in his diary. Today I boarded it, like that. Okay, that's an addendum. And let me find that in the folio here.
You were going to ISKCON temples at first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard so much.
Yeah.
Diaries, okay. Diaries, the Jaladutta diary. 1965. There's two diaries in the folio. One is called the Jaladutta Diary, 1965 Journey to the USA. and the other is called The Beginning, the 1966 New York Journal. Yeah, so the Jaladuta diary, let me see, there's a preface. There's a preface and an introduction, and it actually begins from April, May, June, July, August. There's something there. On those, I'll look at it. But then the journey is a part Jaladuta 5, the journey, and okay, and then there's the section Prayers Written by Srila Prabhupada on Jaladuta, and there's reflections. Oh, okay. So this will be interesting. I remember last year we actually did some of the reading on these days. But nobody mentioned it yesterday, although on the Vaishnava calendar it was written up for yesterday, Prabhupada departure. I just looked at it just now to make sure. But yesterday on the calendar, it didn't say Purnima, although everything's there, Baladev, everything. But it didn't say Purnima. So it's the TT thing, how that goes. Gurudev Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadvaktaya Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Kuroti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurundinataram. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Trise Namaha. Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashto Tarashata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, who on this day in 1965, the day after Baladev Purnima, the Pratipat day after, Srila Prabhupada boarded the Jaladuta ship to come to America and save all of us and save the whole world. So my unlimited Dandavat Pranams at his divine lotus feet. And also the same Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of my most beloved worshipable Siksha Gurudevs Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And my Dandavat Pranams to all of my Siksha Guru Varga and my Dandavat Pranams to the lotus feet of all my Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga. And especially Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Jagat Guru Dev Srila Prabhupada, who is the person that gave the instruction to our Srila Prabhupada that he should do this service. And my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavas. So on this day last year, I think we were able to begin reading as well the diary. I'm just going to check this out now, and first of all, look at the preface. So, this is the first part of the book.
Who's written the preface?
Let's see, I'll go ahead and see. It's very short. It doesn't actually say, so it's probably just the BBT. So, April 1965, colon. While approaching the Scindia Steam Navigation Company in Bombay to sponsor his passage in April to America, Srila Prabhupada received one of their complimentary diaries. He used it at first as an appointment book. Once his voyage to America on the Jaladuta began in August of that year, he made regular entries in the diary to record the events of the journey. It's important history to know. So April, May, June, July, August, so like 4 months. And subsequently, the diary was kept in the safe of the New York Temple until 1972, when Srila Prabhupada requested Balimardhan Das, the temple president, to take personal care of it. Today, it is still in the care of Balimardhan Das, and he is arranging for its permanent display and preservation. Excerpts from the diary, of course, this is probably written, who knows when this was written. Probably 20 years ago, I would say. Yeah. So excerpts from the diary were first published in 1980 in volume 1 of the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, the authorized biography of Srila Prabhupada. Portions have also appeared in some of the annual Vyas Puja books. And with the approach of the Srila Prabhupada Centennial in 1996, so that's, yeah, we feel it is fitting that the diary be presented in its entirety. So Srila Prabhupada once wrote in a letter about the need to meticulously preserve the writings of the previous acharyas, especially their handwriting, as follows. Here's the quote. We may take care of them by treating them against insects and storing them in a tight, dry storage place where they may be preserved for future generations of Vaishnavas to see the actual handwriting and the words of such great saintly persons. Treat this matter very seriously and thoroughly, and take all precautions to protect this wonderful boon of literatures forever. These items are very, very priceless, and they are a great treasure house of Vaishnav lore. So be very careful in the matter and take all precautions to guard them. This is a letter to Achyutananda Das, dated June 12, 1972. So he's there in India. Prabhupada is telling him this. Again, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a description of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu praising Rupa Goswami's fastidious handwriting in Antya-lila chapter 1. Thus, the handwriting specimens of pure devotees are intimate mementos of their spiritual lives, and we must therefore consider ourselves most fortunate to have the remnants of Srila Prabhupada's handwriting. So this diary of the voyage of the Jaladuta is a personal account of the challenging journey that launched Srila Prabhupada's life mission. Readers will find it to be a remarkable document in the history of religious movements. It reveals the full measure of Srila Prabhupada's devotion, faith, and self-abnegation, which qualify him as one of the world's few genuine spiritual leaders. We hope this book will inspire others to appreciate Srila Prabhupada's triumph over adversity and to follow in his footsteps. Nice preface. Huh?
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada, now the introduction. Srila Prabhupada was instructed by his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking peoples. And toward this end, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, published the first Back to Godhead magazine in 1944. He also began to write translations and commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and other Vedic literatures. So actually he even began back then. In 1965, after publishing 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, he approached the owner of the Scindia Steam Navigation Company. Remember her name? Sumati?
Murarji.
Yes, Sumati Murarji. He approached her for a complimentary passage to the United States. And after considering his request for some time, she finally agreed and issued him the ticket. I can still see her on the video, telling, "You're very old, you may die." But he insisted, so I said, okay. In the port of Calcutta, on August 13th, 1965, that's my son's birthday. On my birthday in 1965, he left. I think I knew this before, but I forgot. And you know, it's interesting because, you know, I'm actually born on Prabhupada's appearance day, which is next week. And when Prabhupada boarded the Jaladuta in 1965, he was just about, after about a week after Janmashtami celebrated on, he was to turn 69 years old. And this year, I'm turning 69 on that day. I mean, my son day already passed, but I was just thinking about that today. I was counting, you know. And this is the very year Prabhupada was just turning 69 years of age. So, in the port of Calcutta on August 13, 1965, carrying only a small suitcase, an umbrella, and a bag of dry cereal. It was probably muri, you know, puffed rice. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, as he was known at the time, climbed up the steep gangway onto a cargo ship named the Jaladuta. The ensuing journey presented considerable hardship. Srila Prabhupada wrote of some seasickness, and then on the 13th day of the voyage, during the passage through the Arabian Sea, he suffered a massive heart attack. He was concerned that he might pass away, but in his uneasy sleep that night, he had a dream, a vision. Prabhupada told us, you know that. Lord Krishna appeared. The Lord was in an open boat along with his other incarnations. Krishna was rowing the boat, and the boat was pulling Srila Prabhupada's ship with a rope. They did some nice paintings of that, I've seen. Krishna was smiling at Srila Prabhupada and was pulling the ship all the way to America! Exclamation mark. They didn't mention it here, but Krishna was in the boat with all his incarnations. Oh, yeah, it said that. Yeah. In an open boat along with his other incarnations. Yeah. Krishna was rowing the boat. The boat was pulling Srila Prabhupada's ship with a rope. And Krishna was smiling at Srila Prabhupada and was pulling the ship all the way to America. Srila Prabhupada did not write about this occurrence in his diary, but simply drew a line through those troubled days, declaring that he had passed over a great crisis in the struggle between life and death. You can see that in the actual printed book, the book diary. There's actual photo of his pages with a line drawn across. I forget how many days, I think it was like 5 or 6 days. He didn't get to eat anything, he didn't cook. Really difficult. So, years later, he related these events to his followers. After the crisis, Srila Prabhupada regained his strength and recommenced his entries in the diary after the ship docked in Port Said, Egypt. And then, after crossing the Mediterranean Sea, the Jaladuta passed through the Straits of Gibraltar and into the Atlantic Ocean. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhara Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiva Ki Jai. So he passed, crossing the Mediterranean Sea, the Jaladuta passed through the Straits of Gibraltar and then into the Atlantic Ocean. Do you know there's a nice song sung by our god sister? It's on YouTube. She's the one that later, I think, got married to Mangalananda, and they were together. Did you know her?
I did not know her personally. Nishinta did, and she did so many children's songs that...
Yeah, she's very talented and very sweet-natured. And she wrote a song called O Atlantic. I mean, I listened to it when I was in Vrindavan. Somehow I happened upon it. And it's so heart-melting. Very beautiful melody, you know. And in the background, Mangalananda's playing like a mandolin, you know. So beautiful. I'll have to find it. We can play it. So, uncharacteristically, the ocean appeared like a placid lake. The Atlantic crossing was so effortless that the ship's captain remarked that he had never seen anything like it. And after a total of 35 days, the ship at last berthed in Boston at Commonwealth Pier on September 17th at 5:30 a.m. Then the next day, the Jaladuta continued to New York, where Srila Prabhupada disembarked onto a lonely Brooklyn pier to begin his mission in the West. He also got off with the captain on Boston. That's his first sight. Yeah. So, in our presentation of the Jaladuta diary, we have also included photographs of noteworthy memorabilia. Srila Prabhupada's passport and visa, the ticket issued by Scindia Steam Navigation Company, the sponsorship form of Gopal Agarwal, and handwritten copies of the 2 poems. Wow, handwritten copies, yeah, that Srila Prabhupada wrote upon arriving in America. Prayers to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Markandeya Bhagavata Dharma.
Were they written in English or Bengali?
No, they're written in Bengali. Yeah. He didn't translate them. They're written in Bengali. Later they're translated by BBT. And then also, we went over them. I remember sitting in Puri with Madhukar and going over some of them because there was that one verse where rolling in the fields, and at that time some persons were trying to use that as proof that Prabhupada is Sakya-ras and all that, you know.
And so what did you and Madhukar discern? A difference?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's the one that looked in the dictionary because he had right on his computer there Sanskrit and Bengali dictionary. And the verb, if I can remember, the Bengali verb was called, I'll have to look at the Bengali again when we're reading it. But they were trying to indicate, oh yeah, Luta Patikal. Yeah, Luta Patikal. And what the other people were trying to say was that means stealing each other's lunch. Luta Patikal. But right there in the Bengali dictionary it says rolling on the ground. So their interpretation was wrong. They tried to use that as evidence. Just see, that's what cowherd boys do. They steal each other's lunches and so forth. Anyway, let's move forward. So, it says here that he wrote upon arriving in America both poems, but I don't think that's correct. I think he wrote the prayers to the lotus feet of Krishna on the Jaladuta after that heart attack. And then when he arrived in Boston Harbor, Markane Bhagavata Dharma is the title of the poem, means preaching Bhagavad Dharma in the West. That's what he wrote there.
Here says the Krishnata Punyahave was written on board the ship Jaladuta, 13 September 1965.
Which date?
13 September.
13th of September.
Yeah, but maybe it's wrong.
Oh, Krishna, just lost the place.
Yeah, I would hope that I wonder if all of Prabhupada's writings are in that same Bhaktivedanta research.
Here, wait a second. It says that on 17th of September at 5:30 a.m. they arrived.
Yes.
And this said, what? 13th. Yeah, so 4 days before the arrival. That makes sense. And definitely that would have been researched by Madhukar. Otherwise he wouldn't have written it there.
Because I was curious whether those writings were in the Bhaktivedanta Research Center where all the writings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati preserved.
In Calcutta, you mean?
In Calcutta.
Oh,
I would hope that they've turned, or have them somewhere where they're really preserved.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, we can inquire. So, so some of Srila Prabhupada's descriptions of the Jaladuta journey form his conversations and letters are also reproduced here. Oh, that's a mistype. From his conversations and letters. So these have appeared in previous archival publications and may be found in entirety in the computer database of Srila Prabhupada's complete works. Yes. We offer many thanks to Balimardan Das, Sundarakar Das, Maya Priya Devi Dasi, Janava Devi Dasi, who did the color illustrations, and to the many other devotees whose efforts have made this publication a reality. There is a sequel to this diary in New York. In January of 1966, Srila Prabhupada began recording another diary, which spans the period from January to October of that year. We've read parts of that.
Exciting year.
Yeah. Now, this diary is not as well known to the devotees as the Jaladuta diary, but it covers the time when Srila Prabhupada was a guest of Dr. R. Mishra up until the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was incorporated, and the first Back to Godhead magazine was published by Srila Prabhupada's early Western followers. We also intend to publish this second diary as an offering for the Srila Prabhupada Centennial, which they did. The New York Diary, Jaladuta Diary, 2 separate publications. Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya of our time. His voyage on the Jaladuta 30 years ago, so that means 75, 85, 95. So this is being written in 1995. Oh yeah, because 1996 was the centennial, okay. So his voyage on the Jaladuta 30 years ago marked the beginning of a spiritual revival, and the 12 years after his arrival in America saw the Hare Krishna movement spread to major cities worldwide. For millennia, the Vedic tradition had been hidden behind the boundaries of India and within Sanskrit and the vernacular languages. To a world immersed in a materialistic ethos, Srila Prabhupada revealed the wisdom of this timeless philosophy. It's just signed the Bhaktivedanta Archives. Now, here's the first entries, April 1965. So as we already learned just now, that he used this as a diary to record some of his activities leading up to that. So first entry is on Saturday, April 3rd, 1965. And he just says, saw the Andheri residence good. One set kept with Nagarajan, one set kept with Acharya. This is a big thing. In every single, wherever he kept a set of his Bhagavatams, right? Because now they've been published.
Yes.
They've been published, he's ready to go, right?
He's already distributing.
And he's distributing, right. Then the next one is Monday the 5th. He writes, to inquire Mafat Lal. Big person, Mafat Lal. They're like billionaires now, the corporation, you know. C. Sydenham, Theosophical, SNDT, the charity offices, Wilson College, Vidya Bhavan, etc. Mr. Dastur, Matunga colleges. That's all of the things. See them, right? He is now approaching, just as he did in the New York Diary, going everywhere, this office, this charitable organization, right? Tuesday the 6th, Madan Sophia Wadia, New Marine Lines, that must be another shipping line, Theosophical Hall, purchased 1 times 3 copies paid, check for rupees 48.
So the Theosophical Society bought some sets.
Sounds like it, yeah. Theosophical Hall, purchased. Thursday the 8th, at 12 noon, at Sri Paramanta's house, dine. Dine, D-I-N-E, dine.
Yes.
I'm going to have a meal there. Friday the 9th, at 8:30 to 9 a.m. Sri R.V. Murti, number 5, Ratan Lodge, behind Aurora Cinema, King's Circle. I think this is in Bombay, I think he's in Bombay doing this. Anyway. At 1:30 to 2 p.m., then he says, Sri T.K. Sheshdhari, news editor, Economic Times, Times of India, VT. Sunday the 11th, at 9 a.m., invitation at Malad Lak Shankar's house. Monday the 12th, to see Gandhi. Somaya, Inter, Wilson, C-O-L dot, Colonel Wilson, maybe. Gulab Chand Kapadia. Tuesday 13th, to see the Father Principal at 10 to 12, St. Xavier's. Maybe it's Calcutta, I'm not sure. Thursday 15th, to see Gandhi's. No, because Prabhupada, he's already in Vrindavan. He's not going to be in Calcutta at this time.
Well, I met with, well, maybe it'll come up that he's meeting with Srimati Maharaj too.
Well, yeah, it will come up. It's at some point before, It's Thursday the 15th, to see Gandhi's secretary between 11 to 1 p.m. Wednesday the 21st, he has five numbers. 1, to unpack the books. 2, to see Ram Krishna. 3, banking corporation. 4, Nagara Jam. And 5, Bhatkal. Thursday 29th, principal, St. Xavier's Institution of Education, Bombay. Yeah. Kept one set to be paid on 30/4/65 in the afternoon. Now we're in May. This is going quickly. Now we're in May, Sunday the 2nd. Kanakia met at Ville Parle at his house. Yeah, that's Bombay. He kept one set books with all literatures to decide in 4 to 5 days. He gave some addresses of friends to be seen. ACB. Puts his initials there. Tuesday the 4th. To see Mr. C. Rai of Indochem Limited, 221 Dada Bay, Navroji Road, Bombay. And then after 11, books kept at house by servant Sanjik. Tuesday the 6th, he has 5 items. No, he has 6 items. To see Seti, Indochem. To see Chokshi, Desai. To see Somaniji. To see Bank and Prem Kutir and Mafadlal. To see Jamna Das, if possible, see Pratap Singh. Monday the 10th, to see Bhaktkal at Tardeo at 12 noon. Telephone Kanakia at 9 a.m. Tuesday 11th, to see Bhaktkal before 1 p.m. To remind Chandrasekhar of my letter of 29/4/65 as well as of the change of address. Wednesday the 12th, to see Bhaktkal between 4 to 5. To see Sevanti by 3 to 4. To see, 4 p.m. They couldn't tell from the writing. Thursday the 13th, to call phone 72219 at 9 a.m. Vrajlal D. Kanakia. Rancho Das Kanjis Wadi. Vitalbhai Patel Road, Bombay 4, first floor apartment, Girgaon, PO, to call phone such and such. Friday the 14th, to see Jamna Das Madhoji at 2 p.m. Okay, so I'm going to just go through this. He's got all these different appointments, and then it comes up to June. I'm just looking for her name, Sumati Maharaj. Let me make sure I didn't miss it. Okay, it'll probably be later. Okay, June 1965. And I'm just looking. Oh, here it is now, June. Wednesday the 9th, then Friday the 11th. Rupees 980, NP, 1 photo, letter from Skindia, from India to Pennsylvania and back. Got the letter from Skindia. Sunil Raizada Postbag, okay. Ticket purchased Sunday the 13th of June. Ticket purchased for Bombay for starting on 22/6/65 at night, Dehradun Express. Ticket number such and such, paid rupees 30. Now July 1965. You're seeing the bank managers and various other people. Oh, he's back in Calcutta now. Yeah, Netaji Subhash Road, Calcutta. Then Wednesday the 21st, purchased. Friday the 23rd, passport with Chokshi for showing to Panchal. Then he has his ticket Sleeping berth on 1/865 for Howrah reserved. Ticket number such and such, paid such and such. Train starting at 1900 hours. It's the 24th of July. Okay, now his P form. He's working on his P form to get foreign currency, right? To exchange rupees. Reserve Bank of India. Wednesday the 28th. Rupees 25 remitted by M.O. to Gorachand Goswami before leaving for USA. June, July, August, September to October. My P form and visa for USA obtained by Chokshi. Thursday, 29th. Daughter Wadakar delivered 1 package of books, Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Friday the 30th. Chokshi today handed over me the following documents on Friday the 30th of July. The passport, 2. The P form has already been passed and dated. 3. Original letter and no objection certificate from Gopal P. Agarwal. 4. Copies of letters for Calcutta office, Skindia Steam Navigation Company. 5. International certificate and vaccination. 3 years and 6 months. What does that mean? International certificate and vaccination, 3 years and 6 months. August 1965, here we come. To start for Calcutta on the 1st of August, to start for Calcutta, because the ship left from Calcutta, started from there. So he's in Delhi. To start for Calcutta by the Calcutta Mail via Nagpur, starting from Bori Badar at 1900 hours, luggage booked, receipt number such and such. Tuesday the 3rd, reached. And Sri Govindalal Bangur sent his man to receive me at this Bangur Dharmashala. Received the letter from Chaitanya Bharati, New Delhi, and also from Govinda Maharaj. Date 31/7/65. Thursday the 5th. Sri Kanai Banerjee coming today to see me at any time. Friday the 6th. Morning to start for Mayapur and return back in the evening. Now comes the journey. The Jaladuta set sail for America. Tuesday the 12th. To start for USA by M.V. Jaladuta from Calcutta Port, K. George's Dockyard. 13th, Friday. Today at 9 a.m. embarked on M.V. Jaladuta. Interesting, was it Friday the 13th? Came with me Bhagavati, the Darwan of Skindia Navigation, Mr. Sain Gupta, Mr. Ali, and Vrindavan, that's his son. The cabinet is quite comfortable. It is owner's residence, and therefore the sitting room, the bedroom, and the bath, and privy, all equipment with first-class materials. Everything is nice in the first-class compartment, and thanks to Lord Sri Krishna for his enlightening Sumati Morarji for all these arrangements. I am quite comfortable. The ship started at 1:30 p.m., very slowly from the dock, and reached near Botanical Garden and stopped at midstream of the Ganga till 11 p.m. and then turned towards the front and started. It is quite steady. I cannot understand in my cabin if it is at all moving. I am so comfortable. The voyage was again stopped at 3:30 a.m. at Kalpi near Diamond Harbor and detained for about 8 hours. The delta of the Ganga, quite wide with shallow water. Saturday the 14th. The ship started at 11 o'clock in the morning majestically. I do not feel any jerking whatsoever. But on reaching the Bay of Bengal, there is tilting of the ship and little rolling also. The roughness increased gradually on the upper Bay of Bengal, and I felt seasickness. There was vomiting tendency and dizziness, and I felt uncomfortable the whole day and night. This is like the second day. The sea was foamy all through. It appeared like a big plate of water extending to 40 square miles, but factually it was endless. So today. It is a vivid example of God's Maya, because it appears like something, but factually it is something else. Sunday the 15th. In the morning I woke up and felt a little better, but I felt no hunger. Took only a glass of lemon, shikanji, lemon drink, nimbu pani. But the head dizziness is continuing. Up to 10:30, I was in the captain's room, radio room, chatting with the officers. In the radio room, they were dispatching news to other ships. The captain's room is full with nautical paraphernalia. I saw a chart of different appearance, something, photo of the sea. The grades are 0 to 10 degrees, and I think we are passing on the sea between 4 to 7 points. The scene of the 10th point was furious, and the 12th serious. The captain advised me to take more solid food. Monday the 16th. Today, early in the morning, I saw that the ship is plying on the surface of the sea, almost on 0 degree of waves. Yesterday night was comfortable, and although I did not take my lunch, I took a little charamurki, puffed rice, with milk. The ship ran all the night yesterday smoothly, and the sky, although not very clear, there was moonlight in the night. And in the morning there was sunshine, but after 11 the sea became a little more rough, showing foamy waves from distance. And after passing the latitude of Trichinopoli, we experienced a dark cloud, subsequently raining all over the sea. The siren sounded on account of hazy vision to warn other ships coming from opposite direction. At about 12 noon, it is raining heavily and the ship is stopped, moving, occasionally sounding the siren. There is constant sounds of thunderbolts. This is the first time I am experiencing heavy rains in the midst of deep ocean. From 12 noon, we are passing through cyclonic weather. Whoa. The ship is tilting too much. I felt seasickness all day and night. At 3 p.m., the ship turned towards Ceylon coast, and we are now in the Ceylon water. Tuesday 17th. Today morning, the sky is scattered with cloud. The ship is going toward western side, and I feel a little bit well after passing my stool. The ship is running against wind current. The sea is a little rougher. At 10:30, we saw the south coast of Ceylon, so they're already at the tip, with a white lighthouse. The two ships passed from the opposite side. Some daring fishermen were fishing in small boats. From distance, they appeared to be almost drowned in the water, but next moment they appear to be safely working. There is sunshine, but the sky is not clear. The captain informed me that by next 6 hours we shall reach Colombo port. The hilly southernmost Ceylon coast, of course that's Sri Lanka, is said to be 4 to 5 miles away from our ship. This means the fishermen were fishing in small boats 5 to 10 miles away from their native coast. Certainly very daring job. At about 2 p.m., we have now turned towards northern front. The sky is cloudy, but we are forwarding steadily. Today I was better than other 3 days. At 3 p.m., the Colombo city became faintly visible from the ship. The color of water in the Indian Ocean is different from that of the Bay of Bengal. The ship reached exactly at 4:30 in the port, but the management of Colombo port could not receive the ship for want of berth. And then it is anchored on the shore waiting to enter the port. At about 9 p.m., the ship was escorted by the pilot, and we entered the dockyard, very old pattern. But there were many ships from various countries, including passenger and cargo ships. At night, the dockyard ships assumed a brilliant spectacle on account of profuse light. We rested the whole night, the ship being anchored. Next morning, barges loaded with goods arrived near the ship. So that's as far as we'll go today, but we'll continue tomorrow. We should dream in our sleep about Prabhupada being on the Jaladuta now. And we should be thinking how Prabhupada is coming little by little over, 35 days or something, right? So all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to his Jaladuta journey to come to the western shores and save all of us fallen souls and millions and even billions of fallen souls. Gaur Premanandi. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyena cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.